Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. We can choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Y'all, it's Friday. So, Friday. All right, it's Friday. It is Friday. My name is Montina. As they say, this is my government name. You can Google me. I'm Googleable. And I'm so happy it's Friday. I'm actually a little tired this morning. I went to my Pilates class. I normally go to a second one, but not today. I'm going to get some work done and I might just rest after I get all my work done today. No, I'm not actually got to go into the city, but that's okay. It's fun stuff. If you are here, welcome. This is a safe space and place for women and wives that are doing the work, women that want to get and stay married, women that want to attract the love they desire and deserve, women that want relationships, and women that are like pro men. We like men over here. We're not bashing the blue pill, purple pill, red pill, black pill. Men, oh, pause. It is what it is. We know that men are emotional. Men carry a lot. They talk about women, men do too, and there are a lot to deal with. But we're like, hey, we're gonna do the work. We're not going nowhere. Okay, we want to figure out the practical ways to make our marriages work, right? So we're women over here doing the work. And I just always do this because, in marriage, I realize that it's difficult at times. And people always just say, oh, well, it's just work. And it's like, well, what do I do? Communicate. Well, how do you communicate when you're frustrated, hurt, annoyed, just don't feel like talking? Woosah. So that's what we're here for. 50% of first marriages, they just end in divorce. Literally. 67% end in divorce. And that's second marriages and third marriages. If you even are crazy enough to be one of the 5% to get married 3 times, 73% divorce rate. So basically, you're doomed to divorce if you're not willing to do some type of work, studying. Like this, there should be like a wives' school. Most of the time, there's marriage seminars at your church, but once every 2 to 3 years, it's just not enough. So that's why we here, y'all. We here. So we do the 4 Ps. I have a little agenda that I go over every day, and I've been doing this now. This is 76 calls. This is crazy to me. It's just, I don't know, something I started, and now I'm continuing, and my friends show up, and new people from YouTube show up, and it's a lot of fun. So I do 4 things. I talk about the Ps: power through resources in the word. I have several books that I almost always reference. Okay. I reference all kind of books. I'm going to reference quite a couple today. Okay. And we go through a devotion really quick as you can pray for yourself. This is not a prayer call. This is not a prayer call. Okay. But there's power in understanding, studying, knowledge, information. Applied knowledge is important. The second thing we talk about is praise, just praising God, thanking Him for, all that He's done because it is important. But we also talk about prayer. Okay. You have your prayer with your praise, but your meditation. Pray before you say. Be emotionally mature. These men act crazy. They have crazy tendencies. I don't care what you call it, but it's a bit much sometimes. But it's okay because we study men. Then we have to make sure we understand the purpose. And someone disagreed with me, like, purpose of marriage is, procreate, have kids. You're right. But not all of us get it right because 50% of people are not married anymore. So what happens when you're a second, third marriage and seasons change and the purposes change? So the purpose of marriage is really to make you the best version of yourself. It could be companionship. It's the romance. There's a lot of other things that come along with marriage. I love being married. I absolutely love being married. So we talk about that. And then we make it practical. And I love the practical side because this is maybe something that I've gone through, heard somebody else go through conversations. I'm always talking to women. I'm around women all day long because I go to Pilates, I go to cycle. I have women that are friends, I have sister friends. I'm just everywhere. And I have friends out in the world. So I'm constantly talking to women. So today we're going to do a quick devotion, battlefield of the mind. Hey, your pa. Hey, your pa. And right now we are talking about, I meant to grab my glasses. We are talking about, huh, this is so funny. I have a note in here and I didn't write the notes. I was like, that's different. Okay. Wilderness mentalities. So in this book, she's talking about the people of the nation of Israel wandered around in the wilderness for 40 years. Now, what I respect all religions here, but we all kind of know the story from a biblical Christian perspective. And they took 40 years for an 11-day journey. 40 years for an 11-day journey. Why? Was it their enemies, their circumstances, the trials? As she was thinking about the situation, Joyce Meyer said God gave her a powerful revelation that's helped her personally as well as thousands of others. And the Lord said the children of Israel spent 40 years in the wilderness making an 11-day trip because they had a wilderness mentality. So she talks about in here with that mentality. And it's funny because she talks about this and has like what constitutes as wilderness mentalities. When we listen to things like this, it's crazy. How do you take 40 years to travel an 11-day journey? But you know what? She has 10 wilderness mentalities we'll go over next week. And a wilderness mentality is just the wrong mindset. We don't want a wilderness mentality in our marriages. See, I'm going to tell y'all, being in a third marriage, don't judge me. It is what it is. But I was telling someone the other day, some people can only get one. Some people blessed to get two, but honey, you can get three or more. Wow. It does say something. It say something. I was crazy, but it is what it is. But let me tell you something. It's a wrong mindset. And I had to think about that in my marriage. Like, do I want to get married again because I can't get it right in this one because it was me? Because I'm going to tell you, once you've been through divorce, you look at it like, oh, okay, you acting crazy. The grass is greener on the other side. So you like jump over the fence, but then it's like, ooh, there's more challenge. Here's the thing. It could be more, it could be less, it could stay the same. You just don't know. It's kind of like what's behind door number 3. You want what's behind door number 1, number 2, number 3. And that's why I try to make it practical because it's humorous, right? What you want? You want the donkey behind door number 1. Ooh, you want the chickens behind door number 2, or you want the car behind door number 3. You just don't know what you're gonna get. Holidays look different because you don't know what the family gonna act like. It just looks different. You don't want the wrong mindset. Get the right mindset now. If you want to win, you want it to work. There are certain things you need to do. You need to understand emotional needs. You need to understand the seasons of life. You need to understand the strategies. You need to have a fight plan, right? We're going to win over here, y'all. So she says this in here. We're not going to have wilderness mentalities in our marriage. I'm actually going to add that to like our things when we talk about what we do with our power. We're not going to have wilderness mentalities. We're going to have the right mentalities. But she says the first one that we'll talk about next week is my future is determined by my past and my present. The Israelites had no positive vision for their lives, no dreams. They knew where they came from, but they did not know where they were going. Everything was based on what they had seen and could see. They did not know how to see with the eye of faith. And so as we go into the weekend, sis, do you have a positive vision for your marriage? We get married and we're just like, but let me tell you, it could be at year 2, it could be year 5, it could be at year 10, it could be year 20. I know somebody was like, yeah, the first 20 something years of their marriage were great. Like they didn't enjoy it. And I was like, oh my God. So we don't want the wilderness mentality. But sis, you have to have a positive vision for your life. This said the Israelites had no dreams. Do you really want to take an 11-day journey, 40 years to do it? You want to keep going back over and over and over the same things that you should have learned a lesson from before. You already know what the triggers are. You know your triggers, you know his triggers because you wrote them down. So now we want to do better. And that's just right here with that devotion real quick. So, I love to say, okay, again, we make sure that we pray before we say. My friends that text me, I have to pray before I say, sis. Me too, sis. Meditate, God, let me just see this world how you see it. I've had to exercise extra patience with people this week and different personalities. Purpose of marriage is to make us great. Okay, the best versions of ourselves. Again, meditation. It's a lot going on in the world. It's a lot going on. I mean, it's a lot. I watch the news. People say, I don't want that in my spirit. I need to know what crazy look like. And I mean, it's stuff going on in the prisons because the security guards are sleeping with the prisoners. There's a lot going on in the business world. There's a lot going on globally. There's a lot going on in Colorado. There's just a lot going on from an energy standpoint. So we want to keep our energy high. But the practical side of this with marriage, and I wrote down today, I have my little notes, is I was going back and forth with the secrets of getting and keeping the right man, and then some questions from the book, Getting to I Do. But here, I want to read something that came in. It said, hey, they said, we noticed you haven't used your card in quite some time. If you'd like to keep it open, it needs to remain in good standing. It must be used periodically. And when I read that, I was like, what do we need to be doing in our marriage that haven't done in a while? And it says, hey, if you do this periodically, maybe that's that note. Maybe that's that sweet message. Maybe that's putting on your lingerie. Maybe that's being sexy. Maybe that's cooking a favorite meal. I don't know what that looks like for you because it's all different because marriage isn't performative, but it's something that your husband just like, it does it for him. He does it for you. And it's like, it works for you. As you go into the weekend, think about those things. But I do want to read it from Getting to I Do. And I want to read one of the things that she mentions from 10 Secrets to Getting and Keeping a Man. but I'm not going to, pirate her book like that. But you go get the book. It's right here. But here's one that I talk about a lot that comes from the book. His Needs, Her Needs, How to Fair Proof Your Marriage. They talk about the same things. And it's crazy because as I keep reading these books, I'm like, literally, this book was 1995. Okay. His book was, and I'm going to tell you why it's relevant. 1986, he first printed this book. 86. In this book, he talks about setting aside 15 minutes a day to communicate. Here's her book. Set aside 15 minutes a day to talk. Every day, each of you should do, she calls it the Amigo Talk, asking the other what he or she thinks and feels about things that matter to you. You don't ask a man how he feels, though. Think, want, do. Learn how to help the other to feel better and achieve his or her goals. Then each of you should try to execute your task. When a man's thinking is respected, he feels cherished. When a woman's feelings are cherished, she feels respected. Well, she talks about that in the book, practical things. Talk. Hey, when they be like, communicate, talk. Okay, that is very important. Baby, how was your day? My husband even asked me yesterday. He doesn't ask often. How was your day, baby? So I knew when he asked, he was really interested. I take pictures when I'm at events. I had a long day. I was at the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. Then I went from there, had lunch. I taught two workshops. So that was a long day. Then I went to Georgia Tech. They had a demo day for their founders. So that was another part of a long day. But I took that. I said, oh, okay, here. And he was looking and I'm showing him. He's like, oh, okay. And I was like, no, sit back down. Look at my pictures. He asked. So he opens it up. You need that amigo talk, that talk time. The other things here that I thought would be important, and I'm going to read 2, maybe 3 of them. For my single ladies, you're welcome here because this is information for you too. How do you know when a man is really in love with you? There are 3 ways to know, and these are things we think about too in our marriage. 1, he's going to be generous with his body, his mind, and his money. Okay. 2, he'll want to be protective of you, so he won't call you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, come on over, honey, I need to get laid. Tell us it's old. Or talking about what you're doing. And 3, he'll put your feelings ahead of his own. If he puts his feelings ahead of your own, if he puts his own feelings ahead of yours, he's not a man, he's a boy. And she actually talks about that in the book. And that's when I first referenced the Peter Pan syndrome. So they're kind of things to understand. But sometimes in marriages, some of us are masculine energy. He's the feminine energy. And I've been in that type of marriage. So whatever works for you, works for you. How do you know? She says here, I had some painful experiences in the past and I'm afraid to trust and commit to a man. You are right not to trust men. You shouldn't trust anyone until after you get to know that person has to be trustworthy. Remember, we are all broken and defective and therefore not worth committing to. When you relate to a man on an intimate basis, you're saying to yourself, I'm going to find out where he's defective and see if I can handle it. Never commit to a man, commit to the relationship. Trust that you're going to handle the defects of his character and have faith you'll be able to handle yourself when he does things that cause you pain, because that's what commitment is made of. You carry your end of the game and see if he carries his. How do you fight? I think this is a good one. With a man, you don't. You say, honey, you might be right. It was Friday or Tuesday, or that my mother was there. That's not the way I recall it, but it doesn't matter. It's not worth fighting over. If you do this, I can promise you that within 60 minutes, he'll be back saying, you know what? I've thought about it. You may be right. A masculine man does not want to fight with a vulnerable woman. He doesn't want to win unless you act like a man. If a man wants to fight, he goes to war. When he comes home, he wants to play. She talks a lot about play in this book, play. Does that mean, I don't know, she uses a term, I don't know. It means he tells you what he thinks and what he wants. He asks you how you feel about it. He takes those feelings into account and you tell him the absolute truth. Remember what grandma did. She said, oh, grandpa rolled his eyes because she knew if she kept grandpa happy, he wouldn't die on her or leave her for a bimbo. He didn't know how to add 1 plus 1. So that's it. I'm going to have here. You guys, there are so many resources. There's so much information. But at the end of the day, Amigo Talk, I love it. Talk, 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 communicate, make it practical. You can win. It's just not that hard. And as you go into the weekend, y'all know I say this, Make sure you have hobbies. Your hobbies make you happy. One of my girlfriends, she's speaking this weekend and she is a beast. Like no, she's not. She is beautiful at what she's doing. She is changing lives, transforming lives. You guys find things that bring you joy. If you follow me on LinkedIn, I see you over there. A lot of people think I'm really busy, but I only do things that I love. That's why I'm a little tired today, but I love being around people. I love some of the things that I do. And even today I'm having a conversation with somebody because I've been asked to do something and it's just not something I feel like I can enjoy. And it's going to be like work and I don't want to do it. So you need hobbies. Your hobbies add to your happiness and your joy and your feeling of being feminine and friendly and just all the amazing things that you are. Your self-care is important. So for me, that looks like spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. So that's my hair. And everything else is pretty much like self-maintenance. Like I'm gonna go get my nails done today, feet done. I do that, once a month. It's like my me time. I go get my massage, it's my chiropractor. So again, make sure that you're doing things that bring you joy. You definitely need a sister circle. And you don't have to be super duper deep with people and trauma bond. And, I don't do a whole lot of one on ones. I have group friends and sometimes I hang out by myself and sometimes I chat with a friend after Pilates or cycle. But unicorns and rainbows, you don't have to trauma bond with people. And remember, put on the whole armor, Ephesians 6:11. Put on a whole armor every single day, especially extra for the weekend, y'all. Because weekends, you guys are in the house more, talk, laugh, cook some breakfast, eat together, sleep in a little bit if you can. If the kids, you got little kids, it's a little different. I get it. And no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Why? Because the joy of the Lord is your strength. So I'm going to get me a little bit more rest today. Y'all get out here and rock out this day because you got this and have an amazing weekend. Amazing weekend. Talk, talk, talk. Enjoy your husband. Go out on some dates if you're single and just have fun. Go on dates if you're married. Just have fun. You do you. Okay. Happy Labor Day weekend. Actually, I may not see y'all Monday, so we'll see. All right. Have a great weekend, y'all. Bye. Thanks for. Oh, wait. I forgot. Okay, your pop and Glendora joined me on the live chat. We got other views, but it's the Labor Day weekends. I will see y'all next week. Bye. Thanks for joining. Thanks to those of y'all watching the replay.